Good day, my friends. This is Patrick Allman from StopDoingNothing.com. This is the week of August 31st, and I'm glad to be back with you. I have to admit, once I get in the habit of talking to you guys and doling out the knowledge and hearing your questions and stuff, I kind of get a little bit misty-eyed. And I miss talking to the camera, and I miss hearing from you guys and you know what you have going on in your lives and how I can help you. For those of you that don't know, this is a weekly video show and podcast that we do. If you have trouble watching the video or have trouble sticking in one place, flip on over to iTunes and subscribe and listen to the podcast and rate it also if you would please. And as always, I would love to hear your questions about life or business. You can send them to me anonymously by texting 405-251-2022. Or you can hook up with Patrick all over social media. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on, goodness gracious, I forgot where else, YouTube. Always feel free to connect with me on social media because I love hearing your feedback and your responses to the videos, but I also love hearing your questions and how I can help make you more of a high achiever. Really quick, I'd like to cover some history of Stop Doing Nothing. Stop Doing Nothing was a concept that came into my mind several years ago, probably even 10 years ago, if not longer. That has to do with fighting against the apathy that all of us have by default. From the moment we're brought up in elementary school and junior high school and grade school and college or the military, depending on which route you went, so many things are just given to us. Life runs on automatic pilot. You automatically go to school. You automatically learn this. You automatically go to college. You automatically get a job. You automatically get a pension. You automatically get promotions. And that stuff seems to me is not a real way to live a high-performing, high-achieving life. And so my motivation for you and for doing these videos is to show you how to live above the noise, live above the regular motivation, and basically kick you in the butt and show you what it takes to live a high-achieving life. I do these weekly, and like I said, subscribe on iTunes, over on YouTube if you want to hear more of these, or if you want to send me questions. If you haven't seen last week's video, please go check it out. We talked about a couple of topics, but more specifically, we talked about internet bullying and what you can do about it, and basically how you respond to it. And it's a 20-minute video. I would encourage you to go watch it, but the quick summary of it is you just have to, there is no good response to internet bully. You can't chase them down. You can't send the cops to them. You can't send the principal to them. There is just no good. And so the best thing to do is to block and stop. Stop responding to them and block them. And just de-escalate the situation, and they are no longer in your headspace screwing up your thoughts. Because that's really how a bully gets to you on the internet, or a troll, more specifically. Bullies, I would think, are more for kids. Internet trolls are just rampant sometimes. People that just get on the internet to chase you into a fight. Block them and ignore them. There's been times where I've been a troll on the internet, I have to 100% admit. And there's been times where I have been trolled also. And you know what? You block it, you stop it, conversation over. What's happened since the last video is my wife and I took a trip to Las Vegas, and we saw some really cool things, and I took some footage for you. First of all, there were these very cool drummers, which you are going to see right now. And for those of you that are familiar with Las Vegas, those drummers were down on Fremont Street, and they are probably some of the best synchronized drummers I've ever seen in my life. And they put that stupid movie Drumline to shame. What I also thought was cool is we went to a concert, and that was the main purpose of our trip, to go see Kool and the Gang and Bootsy Collins and Dougie Fresh and Morris Day all in the concert. And really quick, here's some footage of that. And that concert was really great. Bootsy Collins couldn't quite complete his set due to some technical issues, but I really went to see Morris Day and Dougie Fresh and had a grand old time. So that's what I've been doing over the last week in my world of Stop Doing Nothing. I also made some great contacts out there. This week, today's main topic we're going to talk about is the importance of keeping a high energy level. And as I'm sure you've discovered, in life or in business, or whether or not you're just starting up a business, being an entrepreneur, a very high business level, almost a hyperactive business level of energy is needed to sustain and to grow your business and to accomplish what you need to. And it's something that's actually really hard to maintain. I'm all about, getting out of being comfortable with life and living in the defaults. And by default, if we eat what the average person eats and we do the average amount of exercise, which is none for most Americans, we actually end up with a very low blood sugar level and a very low energy level, and it's not good enough to maintain. It's not good enough to help us grow and be high achievers. So I'm going to go through some things, some tips that I have learned in my life and that I implement on a regular basis to keep a high energy level. Now keep in mind, you can't do these things all the time. You can only do them, you do them when you can, but if you put these into habits on a fairly regular basis, and you implement them most of the time, your energy will be higher than the average person's energy, and you'll be able to accomplish a lot more. Okay, the first thing that I think is important to cover, like most things, is that you always, it's most of what we're going to talking about here is mental. It's up here in our head, just like the topic from last week. And so one of the first things you have to do is basically find a reason to live or a reason to drive you to do things. Whether it's monetary, whether it's family, whether it's love, whether it's religion, whatever it is, you need a driving purpose every single day. And for a lot of people, that's all they need. They wake up every single morning and they realize their driving purpose, and that just makes them jump out of bed and hit the ground running. And so if you don't have a driving purpose yet in life, you need to stop everything else. All these other tips won't matter if you don't have something that juices you and wakes you up in the morning and kicks you in the butt and says, yes, I have to get up and there are things I want to accomplish. So the very first step is mental. Find something to drive you. You might call it a passion. You might call it a major goal. You might call it a physical goal, an exercise goal, a health goal. Find something that just juices you every single day when you wake up and kicks you in the butt and makes you get off and running. And once you do that, all these other things will fall in place. You don't need that much motivation once you have a purpose to your life. That's what thing that always amazes me about inspiration and motivation is oftentimes those are things for people that just don't really have any kind of direction. If you don't have any kind of direction, all the motivation, education, and inspiration in the world will not help you. So get your mind right first and everything else will fall in place. Crap. Stop eating crap food. Quit sitting there whining about not having any energy, yet you eat pizza and you drink beer all of the time. And soda. Pizza, beer, and soda. Now, I am not knocking beer. I'm not personally a beer drinker. I'm more of a vodka drinker. However, beer, soda, pizza, some of the other things which are common staples in the American world, donuts, candy, things like that, that stuff's not only sucks the energy out of you, it sucks the life out of you. And you can't be one of those people that, does it, I do it in the morning, but I eat healthy for the rest of the day. No. Having a high energy level, being healthy is a lifestyle choice. It's not I do it when it's convenient. You don't eat healthy when it's convenient and you eat pizza by default rest of the time. You have to stop eating crap if you want to keep your energy level high. Heavy fats, the bad fats, the bad carbs, all those things, not a doctor, not giving advice. All that stuff really does drag down your heart, drag down your muscles, and not give you the fuel you need to be a high performer. So please, please, stop eating crap. 90% of the time, eat great. Eat good raw red meats, eat chicken, eat fish, eat things that are pure. Don't eat things that are breaded. Don't eat things that are fried. Don't eat things with lots of gravy. Don't eat too much carbs, which we tend to as Americans. Put your life on a very strict diet and maybe take a break, every week. Every Sunday afternoon, let yourself go a little bit crazier, maybe once a month. But stop complaining about not having any energy level when you eat crap. Okay, sleeping regimen. Get on a very strict sleeping regimen. It's very easy in our day and age now with all the series that we have on HBO and HBO Go and on Netflix to get stuck binge watching a series. I'm guilty of that, man. Whether it's House of Cards or West Wing or Orange is the New Black or The Last Man on Earth. There are my series I get stuck on sometimes, and it's very easy to go through, 5 or 6 series. All of a sudden, your evening is shot. What I started doing is getting on a more disciplined regimen where, I will go to bed at the latest 11 o'clock, most of the time 10 o'clock, and then I will get up at 6 o'clock. And what I found recently for my body is that sticking this regimen is, for some reason, when I combined the exercise, which we're going to talk about, plus a strict sleep schedule, I actually wake up before my alarm goes off. There are many times where I'm sitting there contemplating what I have to do for the day and my alarm goes off. My alarm is usually set for 6 o'clock, but my body might wake up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and I am well rested, I'm ready to get up. And that's because it's a combination of getting on a sleep regimen. And by the way, something else you should do with a sleep regimen is implement it 7 days a week. Don't be one of those people that thinks, oh, it's the weekend, I gotta sleep in, because no, it doesn't count. You are on a mission of discipline and you're on a mission of health. You will adopt the same sleep schedule 7 days a week. What do you do on the weekend? Use that extra time when you're not going to work for yourself. Get up early in the morning, whether it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and get cleaned up, get showered, shaved, and dressed just like you would on Monday through Friday. But on the weekends, do something for yourself. Go hang out at a coffee shop, work on your book, work on your videos, work on your side gig. Do whatever you want, but adopt the same sleeping regimen 7 days a week. So that was a two-parter. Get on a regular sleeping schedule. Mine is usually 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, and I get up at a hard 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes varies a little bit, and I do that 7 days a week. So 7 days a week, and I personally sleep from 10 to 7 days a week. So we talked about the sleeping schedule, exercise. I don't know how hard I could emphasize this particular regimen. If I could flip the camera out here and show you my calendar, you would see that every single evening there is some kind of exercise on my schedule. It used to be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I would go to the YMCA up here on Rockwell and Northwest Expressway, and it got to be where I knew everyone's name and everyone knew me. And everyone knew I was going to be there, and everyone knew what exercise I was going to do. There'd be times where I'd go to the YMCA free weight area, and somebody says, "Oh, it's Wednesday. It's squat day for Patrick. Everyone, give Patrick his space so he can knock his squats out." And yeah, it was kind of humorous. They were chatting me a little bit, but they knew I was going to be there, and they knew what exercise I was going to do. And it would be nice if you started doing the same thing. You don't have to join a YMCA. Oh, by the way, I've since moved from the YMCA over to CrossFit, but just do something on a regular basis and make it non-negotiable. I put my exercise stuff on my calendar because it's non-negotiable. My family knows that from 6 to 8 every evening, this is what I'm going to be doing. My clients know, and if I'm working on a project late in the evening, I will actually stop what I'm doing and I will go do my exercise, and I will come back and I will complete the project. It's non-negotiable for me. Being a computer jockey, being at the desk here, or being in client meetings all day, I'm sitting most of the time, and it's very easy to just basically blow it off. Oh, I'm too tired. I don't have a chance to go to the gym. I don't have the time to go to the gym. No, please screw that BS. Gym is life. Exercise is life. Taking care of your heart is life. And if you don't have the energy to exercise, trust me, you do not have the energy to run a business or to have a great marriage or to do some of the other things that a high achiever wants to do in life. After that, after exercise is life, let me scroll down here to what I was going to talk about for you. Water. Water is life. Look at this. Right over here on my desk is my water bottle. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's chalk on it from CrossFit. But I ingest a lot of water now, and I can tell the difference in my body from when I'm taking in a lot of water versus to when I'm dehydrated. And it's very easy for us to become dehydrated. By default, if you're sitting there doing nothing, you sweat very lightly and you will eventually become dehydrated. You don't have to be out in the sun. You don't have to be out in 120 degree temperatures. You will become dehydrated sometimes just sitting for long periods of time in a warm environment, and before you know it, all of a sudden, you're very lethargic, you don't have the energy to move around, your joints hurt. Usually when all that starts happening to me, I know it's time for me to pick up the water bottle and take a big gulp of water. Your body is some very high percentage water, and so that's not even really an option. You should always have a full container of water by you. Please respect the earth and try to get something, metal, like I did. Try not to be one of those people who uses a plastic water bottle, 10 of those a day and throws those away. That's just really bad. That plastic's not going anyplace. So water is life. Exercise is life. Water is life. And let me see, what else did I hear here? Oh, this is one that I haven't started adopting yet, but it's going to be in my life very, very soon. And that is the process of standing more than you sit. I know there are going to be a lot of computer jockeys, a lot of desk jockeys watching my videos. And you know how the deal is. You get to work, and there may be times when you sit in front of a computer 8, 12 hours a day. And the only reason you get up to move is to, go take a bio break, maybe get lunch, but sit back at your desk. And in this day and age, there's really no excuse for that. We have standing desks now. We're mobile. We have laptops. There are just various ways that we can stand. And so what I am doing is I am ordering a standing desk very soon. So pretty soon you'll start seeing me doing these videos from my standing desk. It's a really cool one. It's on Amazon. It was under $250, and it was a little electronic thing over here on the left or right where you can transition it from a sitting desk to a standing desk. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to get rid of this L-shaped brown desk I've had for probably a decade. And so I'm going to be standing all day long. I won't be working as hard as a construction worker or someone working in the field or whatever, but my goal is to be standing all day long. So as a quick recap, let's talk about this. Always have something that's driving and pushing you better. Stop eating crap. Get on a good sleeping regimen and implement it 7 days a week. Exercise is life. Water is life. Oh, goodness gracious. There's one here I completely missed. And this is something that I really gained recently from CrossFit. And that is the goal of surrounding yourself with energetic people. I go to a CrossFit gym over here on Rockwell and Hefner. It's called Get a Grip CrossFit, run by Josh Amira and Daniel Stephenson. I hope I got that right. Stevenson. I think it's Stephenson. He's a big guy. I don't want to screw it up. But when I am in that environment, even more so than the YMCA I was going to, when I am in that environment with those people, those are high energy, borderline hyperactive people. Those people are goal driven. They have great mental states, and just being around them gives me more energy. I get my energy from them. They don't let me fail. They don't let me sit around. They don't let me screw up. And it's a cliche. You've heard it before. You're around. You will be at the level of you are something like you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. Well, when I'm at Get a Grip CrossFit or even in the gym, to tell you the truth, I feed off of that energy, and I don't feed off of maybe some negative habits that I might be being around the wrong people. I feed off of high energy, exercise, goal-driven people. So surround yourself with high energy people. That's the last one right there that I want you to be very, very aware of. Real quick, also so you know, I take in viewer questions all the time. And if you ever have a question, when you send me, DM me on social media or text me at 405-251-2022. And we have a question right here. So here it goes. Hi, Patrick. Question for your radio video show. How do you manage your work and family life? I asked before about your own pleasure time, but with a family it's different. How do they understand, do they understand or support your late nights? Sometimes I feel a little guilty and I just don't go spend the time with them, but I'm doing it for them. So basically, he's asking, how do you explain this to your family that, you are working late nights, and yes, you're going to be a little bit absent from them, but at the same time, you are doing that for them. And that's a really great question. I had that issue before, and because I do work long hours and I have a daughter. And I think the main way that I think about this is making sure that my family knows that I allocate time for them. I'm not sure if I've done a show yet on the importance of managing a very strict calendar, but if you were to look at my calendar, you will see I block off almost everything. I block off fun time. I block off hang out with friends time. I block off social media screw around time. I block off time to make videos. I block off work time. I block off exercise time. And if you're having trouble getting your family to understand that, then basically it's time to have a sit down with them and say, listen, I'm doing this for us, number one. It's very important that they understand that. Actually, probably the first thing you need to say is, I love you. It's very important that your spouse and your kids know that you love them, number one. And it's not something that should just be assumed. You can make that mistake in a relationship, I think, of just assuming people think that you love them. It's important to say that, and then you might highlight what you do with them, and then what you might do is come to an agreement with them, maybe even let them initiate it to say, okay, this is the hard work I'm doing. However, you and I, family members, spouse or child or children, let's look at the calendar together, and you pick a time that works with my schedule, even though I'm working hard for you, family. You pick a time that works with your schedule, that we can agree that this is a no work time, this is a joint family time. Now, if you're the kind of person who's working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, that's going to be hard. I completely understand that. However, it's important to not abuse our family relationships in the pursuit of excellence and the pursuit of being a high achiever. So one of the things, like I said, you might do with them is get them to basically sit down with a calendar for you, help you allocate the time, and then make sure they walk away with concrete evidence that there is a date and time set for them. From my wife and I, there are times where we will look at the calendar and we'll allocate time, and we know to not put anything else in that time. Sometimes we go for long spurts where we don't do that, but we know when there's joint time. Recently we went on this Las Vegas trip that was part business, part pleasure, and pretty soon we have a cruise coming up, and that's on both of our calendars. It's non-negotiable. I'm probably going to work right up until the minute before we get on the plane for the cruise, but cruise time is her time. Cruise time is the time for the other couple that we're going with, and when I go visit my daughter, it's same timing. It's daughter time. So. Jointly work with them, look at your calendar, explain to them and make sure they know you love them, but let's say, hey, let's pick this time together to have an agreement that, okay, if mommy or daddy are going to work several long, hard days, this is the time when mommy and daddy is going to spend time with you. Or let's assume the equivalent thing with your spouse. So hopefully that will help answer your question. If not, answer a different way and I will get it answered. And as always, I like taking your questions at 405-251-2022. I don't have any book recommendations this week, and as always, I'm interested in your topics. I think for next week, I'm going to probably talk a little bit about the trend I see in social media, which really bothers me, about people calling themselves a blogger or a podcaster or a YouTuber. I just hate that stuff. And if you're that kind of person, I'm going to show you how to flip the script a little bit and look at yourself from a value proposition, how to present yourself and your business in more of a value proposition state versus calling yourself someone who does a tactic. You're not a blogger, you're not a YouTuber, you're not a podcaster, you are a person who has expertise, and I'm going to turn you into someone who knows how to present that to the public. As always, you can find me on social media. You can look for just hashtag Stop Doing Nothing. I've started using that a lot. Even though I'm fairly anti-hashtag, I'm okay with the hashtag Stop Doing Nothing. On social media, I am Patrick Almond all over the place. PatrickAllmond. So you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. Please follow me and message me there. Let me know you did follow me. And like I said before, the text question where you can always call or text us is 405-251-2022. If you like this podcast or if you like this video, please do me a favor and leave a review or a comment on the bottom as to what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and how I can improve it and make you more of a high achiever. Until next week when I'll make another video for you, follow me on social media. Be an awesome person. Be nice to your fellow mankind. And here's a quick tip for you, which I gave to my daughter once. When you go out in public and you deal with somebody in the service industry, be sure you use their name. We go to IHOP a lot or Jimmy's Egg a lot, and one of the first things I do when we sit down at a table is I will look at someone's name tag, and I will make sure I address that person from their name every point forward. And inevitably, every single time, I get better food, better service, and I leave a better tip. So they're happier, I'm happier, and they make more money. So use people's names in the service industry. It doesn't matter if it's Home Depot or an IHOP or a Walmart or whatever. You use someone's name, you will make their day. I promise you. That's also one of my secrets of business networking right there. Until the next video, you take care. Until the next podcast, you take care also. And I will see you online. This has been Patrick Almond from StopDoingNothing.com.